And I know for a lot of people that this video is going to sound really insensitive and I'm going to sound miserable, and you're probably going to say, oh, it's because you don't have kids. And I couldn't think of actually making it any worse than having kids right now. But those aren't the reasons. And that's why I've titled this being a real life Grinch, because one thing I cannot stand about the Christmas season specifically is the chaos that people throw themselves into. What is up, people? Welcome back to another video. For those of you who are both old and new around here, a very warm welcome back. I'm super grateful to have you all come and join us. And as you can see, I've got into the Grinch spirit by wearing a nice green jumper. But I wanted to go into a bit more depth about the Christmas period, any type of holiday really that requires a lot of people to get together in big groups, in families, in friend circles, and that's not always applicable for a lot of people for various reasons. And I wanted to touch up on a few things that royally pissed me off about holiday season really, and have pissed me off for quite some time. But because the month of November and December is meant to be so-called positive, and you're meant to be all happy about it, and you're meant to be in the festive spirit, and if you're not, then you're miserable and you're ruining it for everyone. Well, I just wanted to post this video because I know for sure I am not the only person out here who absolutely royally hates all the festivities, all the get-togethers, just the same conversations and the same patterns that I see people repeat time and time again. And they do things and say things and go to places that they don't even want or don't even want to do. And then they have the same problem at the end of it, because I don't know about you, but it fucking enrages me when people have a problem with something and then they keep repeating that same thing. It just winds me up. I don't know. For years, I just kept my mouth shut because I was like, I don't want to sound rude. I don't want to sound negative. But now I've reached the pinnacle of do not give a flying fuck. So here we are talking about it. First and foremost, if you are someone who really enjoys this time of year, for whichever reason, by all means, I hope you have an amazing time with whichever plans that you have set in place. But something that's never sat right with me, and I'll just get the first part out of the way because most people are assuming it's because it's a religious holiday, and we all saw my religious video. It's actually not that at all. I did grow up celebrating Christmas because my parents raised me in the UK. So we obviously celebrated Christmas. However, if you have watched that video, you'll know that I came from a Muslim background. So we actually celebrated Eid and Christmas in the same year, which then further added to my identity crisis and identity issues that I very much had growing up. People who overconsume and overspend and then continue to moan about it throughout the whole month of January. We know this comes around every year. Thanksgiving is pretty much on the same day every year at the end of November. Christmas Day, we all know when it falls in the calendar year. We all know that everyone just overconsumes and overbuys, overspends, and then complains about it throughout the whole of January. So in my head, I'm thinking to myself, if I don't want to be skint in January, I'm going to make sure I try my best not to overspend in the month of December. Another thing that irritates me is people who just go from November onwards. Sometimes it's not November, it's 1st of December onwards. They go into full blown self-sabotage mode. So as soon as it's 1st of December, they're like, right, it's Christmas. I'm just going to start eating and drinking shit because it's Christmas. I'm eating chocolate for breakfast. I'm drinking Prosecco for breakfast. Listen, I'm all for, if that's going to make you happy, go for it. If you are going to complain about it next month, about, oh, I'm feeling shit, oh, I've put on weight, don't fucking complain, because those actions that you take throughout the month of December are eventually going to catch up with you. And this used to enrage me when I was in the personal training space, because during the month of December, understandably, people have more social activities, and that's more than fair enough. However, if it's something you don't want to complain about later on down the line, whether that be your bank account or the fact that you may have gained weight or that you may be feeling shit about yourself, think about these things before you overconsume. That's just all I'm saying. People repeat it every single fucking year. And for the life of me, I don't understand, because we all know it's coming in the calendar year. It's not like it's just thrust upon us and we're like, oh my God, it's suddenly Christmas. You know when Christmas is. You know which presents you need to buy if that's what you like doing. If you want to spoil your friends and family, then budget accordingly. We all know what we earn every single month. People living beyond their means and then getting upset about it. And I know for a lot of people that this video is going to sound really insensitive and I'm going to sound miserable, and you know, you're probably going to say, oh, it's because you don't have kids. And I couldn't think of actually making it any worse than having kids right now. But those aren't the reasons. And that's why I've titled this being a real life Grinch, because one thing I cannot stand about the Christmas season specifically is the chaos that people throw themselves into. It's almost like people love the stress and the chaos of the last minute rushing around, which again, I don't understand why anything is last minute, because like I said before, it's already in the calendar. You know it's coming. It's not a surprise. It's not like you wake up one morning and you're like, oh my God, it's one day to Christmas. Like, you know it's in the calendar. We all know what date it falls on. So the way that people just, they seem to enjoy, they get a kick out of the stress of rushing around on Christmas Eve. They get a kick out of the stress that it creates for both themselves and their families and their bank accounts. They almost revel in it, which I don't understand, because it's a holiday season. So a holiday for me means relaxing and, you know, having you time or spending it with a significant other or your kids or your family. Why is that stressful? It shouldn't be stressful. It should be enjoyable. And for many years, I did find it enjoyable. However, I just also found it really, like, watching around me, just people just constantly stressed. And I've got a confession to make. I've never in my life made a Christmas dinner. Never. I've never hosted, and I point blank refuse to ever host a Christmas dinner. So nobody will ever get an invite from me, thankfully. Why am I going to stress myself out in a fucking kitchen? Why am I going to stress myself out and bend over backwards for people in a kitchen all day, cooking and cleaning after other people? No, thank you. And whilst I've been to other people's houses for Christmas, and I haven't done this for almost 4 or 5 years now, and I plan to keep it that way for the rest of the time that I'm on this planet, I've always wondered and felt bad for the host. I've always been like, thanks for inviting me round, but I haven't seen you because you're constantly in the kitchen worrying about whether we've enjoyed the starter, worrying about does everybody have their drink full, worrying about if the napkins are folded properly or if they're the right shade of red. I just can't think even, I can't bear the thought of being this worried about everybody else but myself on Christmas Day. On Christmas Day, I wake up to a nice clean house. It's completely silent. And I simply just sip my coffee like any other morning. I don't see why I need to stress about anything or anyone. And that is going to sound unbelievably selfish for a lot of viewers. And before you come at me in the comments, I understand that some people enjoy this. Some people like hosting. Some people like being busy. And I get that. I've worked with loads of busybodies in the past. And I've been a busybody myself for many years before. I get it. Some people thrive in that environment. And you know what? If it makes you happy, do it. I cannot bear the thought of doing this much for other people who might not even like it and probably judge me behind my back. I just don't understand why people actively put themselves in stressful situations to please other people. Another reason I genuinely hate Christmas is because, and I notice this a lot more in workspaces, all the people who behave really horribly throughout the year and they're not nice people, they're suddenly really happy. They're like, oh, but I love Christmas. And it's like, oh, that's nice. Well, you acted like a piece of shit for the other 11 months. So now we're all going to be happy because you're in the Christmas spirit. So we all have to be in the Christmas spirit because you, the most miserable person in the office, is suddenly really happy. Why am I suddenly having to be happy for somebody like you who is actually a complete and utter bully for all the other times of the month and the year? But, oh, it's Christmas now. Let's put decorations up. Let's get happy. Come on, guys, let's get in the spirit. I've bought everyone chocolate. Oh, suddenly you're really happy. I understand how hard it is being a people pleaser. And it's not something you can just snap out of. It's taken me absolutely years upon years upon years of healing, of self-development, of therapy, to step outside of being a people pleaser and doing things simply just for other people and always putting myself last. The reason I hate Christmas so much is because the people pleasers get used the most. And a lot of people pleasers don't know that they're people pleasers. And forget even being aware of it, they don't know they're people pleasers. And a lot of people who can see that they will do anything to make other people happy use those people. They totally use them and they exploit them for their own gain because, you know, humans are inherently selfish. We do things for our own personal gain, and that's simply just a fact. Just look around you. We've all done it. I've done it myself before. I'll hold my hands up and I've been selfish before and done things for my own personal gain. But I just find Christmas is one big period of people pleasing, and it's different if you're a parent and you're trying to please your kids by buying them gifts and showering them with affection. Again, by all means, I totally get that. I've actually recently just bought my cat a present, and this morning I wrapped it and I actually put it under the tree. I don't even know how he's going to open it because he doesn't have hands. But I simply cannot wait for my cat to see his gift, because in my head, I've got him a gift and it's the best fucking thing I've ever bought him. And I think he's really going to enjoy it. So I can kind of sense that, like, I get why these parents overspend on their kids. But see, my cat's probably going to like his gift. I hope he does. But a lot of kids, I just find them being really ungrateful these days, and nothing is ever enough. I can't even imagine what parents are buying their kids now as gifts. Because when I was a kid growing up in the 90s, we used to get videos, cassettes, we used to get puzzles, books, and like board games and stuff like this. And now I look at the kids of today and I'm thinking, if I had a kid now, what would I actually be buying them? I'll probably be buying them like a car, a fucking plane, I don't know, like all these electronics, an iPad, an iPhone, the newest gadget out there. These are things that I'm just so happy I didn't grow up around, but I can understand why now it is beyond not even just expensive, but I don't even know how you would please your kids these days. There's just so much available to them. It's just absolutely overwhelming. So last year I went to a work Christmas party and I regretted it immensely. So that was the very last Christmas party that I ever attended, specifically a work Christmas party. And ever since I joined a new industry and a new work environment this year, we actually don't do Christmas parties because Christmas is our busiest season. Well, winter, should we say. So winter and Christmas is our busiest season. So when I first joined the company, I remember asking them like, oh, do you guys do like get-togethers and Christmas parties, just so I know what to avoid? And they were like, no, we don't actually do Christmas parties because it's our busy season and we don't have the time to let all the staff off to enjoy a party. And I was so relieved. I was like, I think I finally found my place after almost 38 years on this planet. And don't even get me started on fucking Secret Santa in the workplace, because this is something that is so innocent. And a lot of people, again, you're going to be watching this and be like, geez, woman, like, why do you hate everything? And I just cannot stand the fact that it's so-called meant to be a secret, but then everybody lets the secret out. And I'll give you an example. So about 10, 12 years ago, I was still living and working in London, and we did Secret Santa. So I was, you know, really young, really enthusiastic, still in my people-pleasing stage. And I was like, yeah, I can't wait. So we all did Secret Santa. There was a really big team. And when it came to giving out gifts, there was this one, and there's always this one member of the team who just cannot keep their mouth shut. And for some reason, he managed to find out everybody's Secret Santa and went around telling everybody who bought whose gift. This pissed me off. I was kind of like, hold on a minute. This is Secret Santa. The whole point is that you're not meant to know who gives you your gift, and vice versa, right? And then everybody finds out I don't know if it's me, if I'm really far on the spectrum. This is just how my brain works. I thought the whole point was it was a secret. So he went round the whole office telling everybody who got who. So I said to him, okay, well, seeing as the cat's out of the bag, who got me? He went, oh, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You literally know everybody else. So it's just a matter of elimination. Who's left? You've told everybody else who they've got, which means there's a remaining person who you've not accounted for, who must have bought my present. No, I don't know. You're gonna call me miserable, but it's absolutely fine. I know I'm a real life Grinch and I'm totally owning it in this video, but if I don't like a gift, I can't cover it up. I can't fake, oh, it's so nice. I can't do that. I can't. So if I get something that I either don't like or don't want or don't need, you're gonna fucking know about it on my face. And I'm very sorry I'm like this, but I also just can't help it anymore. I can't cover that up. This is why my husband and I talk about gifts before we buy each other gifts. Because ultimately, I don't want bric-a-brac. I don't want shit that I'm going to use once and then put in a corner. We buy each other things that we actually are going to need and that we want and that we're going to use and that's going to be useful to us. I can't stand buying shit and receiving shit that is just going to be used once. It's a little bit of faff and it's just going to go in a box in a drawer for the next 11 months and I'm just going to forget about its existence. No, I want it to be something that I can utilize. Ultimately, I find that life as a real life Grinch has become a lot more peaceful. I kind of got here and I think to myself, why did I not do this sooner? And the only reason was simply because of societal pressures and thinking and feeling that, oh, I have to do this, and bowing down and breaking under the pressure of shoulds and have tos, especially during the holiday season, where I just find that so many people are just on a performative mode. They're just people pleasing. And I understand those pressures because I've simply been there before. But once you come out of that, you can't unsee it. You can't tolerate it almost. That's why I just switch off during the holiday season, put my pennies to one side, and I always enjoy a nice holiday in January, knowing perfectly well I haven't overspent. But I understand that's not the reality for everybody and everybody can do what they want to do. For me, it's just the moaning. Don't moan afterwards. Don't moan in January that you're skint. Please, please. We all know it's coming, okay? If you are doing something special for the holiday season and it's something you thoroughly enjoy doing, I hope you and your family have the best time ever. Have the best Christmas. Have the best New Year. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Give this video a massive thumbs up and I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Peace out.